Hi guys, it's me again, Thomas Renee, the head of voice and speech at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. So I want to continue looking at some general American, if that's the phrase that we want to use, or an American accent that doesn't really have too many or any regionalisms to pinpoint. And I want to look at the T consonant. Because T's are hard, because there's so many of them. There's so many different versions of how we use T in an American accent. And so this video specifically is T starting a word, T going into the word. This is relatively consistent. For those of us who work with the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, we're looking at a aspirated, voiceless, alveolar plosive or stop plosive. For those of us who do not know anything about the IPA, great, throw that out the window. I'm going to keep saying that because let's talk about what it actually is, because that's what is important here, is that you understand the reality of the action. So when we're looking at T that starts the word, we're going to take the tip and blade of the tongue, and blade. If you want to know more about that, feel free to check out my chopstick exercise where we sensitize and identify different parts of the tongue. And we're going to bring it up to what we call the alveolar ridge, or the wrinkly bit, the gum ridge right behind the teeth, the top teeth. Yeah. So that's going to come and lift up. Now, what's going to happen is those two articulators, the tongue and the gum ridge, or the alveolar ridge, are going to press together, or the tongue will press up against the alveolar ridge. And the breath coming from the lungs is going to be behind it, and it's going to build up pressure. Then the pressure explodes, or should I say the tongue and the alveolar ridge explode apart, creating this plosion, the plosive part, if we're working with a stop plosive, that terminology. So when that explosion happens, specifically a detail that might get lost for a lot of people coming from different languages is a lot of extra air that falls out of the body because of the explosion. So when I make that t sound, what I want you to really listen for and feel for with your hand potentially is a big explosion of air against the hand, or you might feel a lot of movement within the rib cage itself. Many people, again, coming from different languages, might not have that extra aspiration. That's what we're going to call it, aspiration, that big puff of air. We might get a almost a duh sound because the lack of aspiration will trick our ears into think it's more voiced. So we want to make sure that we have that aspiration, that big puff of air coming out at the explosion of the tip blade of the tongue up against the alveolar ridge. Let's look at some words with this. And of course, we have to start with my name, Tom. So making sure that tongue is coming up, the blade of the tongue is coming up to the alveolar ridge. Build the pressure. Explode it, big puff of air into the open vowel on Tom. To, tie, tip, tall. Excellent. And just for a lot of extra practice, let's put this sound on every single vowel of the American English accent. What am I trying to say? The American accent. So let's go through all those vowels, placing this aspirated, voiceless, alveolar, plosive right before the vowel. So just repeat after me. You have T, T, Te, Te, Ta, Tie, Tu, T, Toe, Ta, 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 Tur, Toy, Tau, Tear, Tear, Tour, tore, tar, tire, tower. And that's it. So just to recap, make sure that as you're placing that T before the word or at the beginning of the word, we have lots of aspiration going into the open vowel, and I think you should be good. All right. Well, hit me up in the comments if you need anything or if you have any questions or you just want to chat with our community of people looking for this accent, working on this accent. And yeah, I hope you have a great day and keep practicing as always. Bye.